Hi, this is Crinstar, and I'm gonna admit real easily, I hate making melodies. Well, not that I hate making melodies. Melodies are kind of cool. I just hate the way my melodies sound. And I don't know about you, but if you're kind of like me, I had to wonder. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos on melodies. I read a lot. I read a lot of Reddit and people's ideas and concepts and how they make them up. And I tried to get better at it because normally, let's look at this piano roll right here. This thing could theoretically scare the hell out of me, and it used to, because basically it's like a blank sheet of paper. Writer's block, right? What do you do? What do you start? Okay. Let's start with the C. Let's go up to C3, in fact. All right. I like C major. C major's a fun one. C major, I can understand the scale. It's all 7 notes, all of the same white keys. Real easy. Real easy. All you have to do is avoid these dark images or this dark background back here, and you're fine, right? So let's start with our melody. We'll go like this. We go here, maybe a eighth note, or maybe I want to start off with the eighth note, and I go, and then maybe go up, because usually that's the pattern I see most melodies, you know, kind of cool. Go down a little bit, go up, maybe give a little bit of breather, go over, and go like that, right? And so we got not bad, not particularly good. And there's a bit of a problem because the one thing that I've been looking at this week in depth is pretty much rhythm. What is my rhythm here? And how is it interesting? See, the problem that I think among the issues that I have, I'm going to be like the Spanish Inquisition here and just say among the issues that I have, because I could probably list quite a few, is that I don't think about rhythm when I'm doing these things. I don't think about it at all. You just saw what I did. I just like every eighth note, and I'm more worried about pitch than rhythm. Because basically, when you look at it, the rhythm boils down to this. And I was showing this in a couple of videos. And it just kind of gone in my head. That's the rhythm. Might be cool, but after hearing that probably about 20 times is usually when I'm doing these videos and going through and working on something, it starts to suck. And it's perfectly fine if that's what you're going through rhythm-wise, but realistically, you got like a bass, or let's just say, for instance, work with me here shortly, is that let's use this as a view of a drum pattern, right? And the C2, here's your kick, and your kick's gonna be like this, and then it's gonna probably be here if you want to do like 4 on the floor. You got your nice little kick, and then maybe your snares are on the top right here, your snares are on there, maybe that they're not, right? And this is like a simple rock pattern, right? And then your hats are kind of up here, and they're like every probably 16th, maybe not, depending on your acceptability. Right? Simple pattern. Simple pattern. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Any rate, so simple pattern. And I think about rhythm like this, and it's like, hey, rhythm applies to drum patterns, not to kind of melodies. But rhythm actually applies to melodies. And so, realistically, you can start messing with the rhythm and the melodies and get something a bit different before you mess with pitches. And one of the things that I always have a problem of is that these bar barriers, and I call them barriers for a reason because that's how I mentally think about them, you won't see me going over them much. So let me remove this, and let me just move this over. And let's say that we're looking at the beat again, and the beat's going, and this is our drum beat, or our kick or whatever, and it's doing the 4 on the floor pattern. So we're standard techno kick or whatever. And then our rhythm up here is doing the same thing. And so realistically, there's a term called syncopation, and I understand it only to the point of move stuff to the offbeat, and it's sometimes a little bit more powerful. And so realistically, we could move this a little bit different and cause it to be slightly off and maybe a little bit off grid to give it a little bit of variation. It's not really that bad. Maybe a longer pause, and this one's really off. Maybe a 3. So we're getting somewhere, right? So now instead of it starting on the 1 and doing it, it's now starting off the half beat, and it's going, and it's still got another syncopation there. Let's keep with the syncopation motif and go, and then do the same thing here. And motif would probably be like a recurring theme or something. And that's pretty strong by itself. Now let's add the pitch. So we'll start on E3. We're gonna go up maybe a third, or the third of the key. Maybe the perfect 5th. Let's duplicate this bad boy. Let's join them. Let's turn on the looper. I'm still gonna go a little bit nuts on this one, so let's change the A pattern, B pattern type of setup. And let's make it a bit different and give it back its... Okay, so these are supposed to be kicks. So let's yank them out. Now, realistically, we would, if it's a melody, it shouldn't be on C3 anyways. It should be pretty much between C3, C4, so let's move it up a bit. So that we can give it room for the, basically, chords. And these chords have a pattern of their own too. It could actually duplicate the pattern up on a melody, or it could be just on its own. So let's... eyeballing this. Let's make it a simple chord because I need to look in scalar because I am sort of don't remember all the chords exactly by hand. I think it's too busy anyways. So let's try doing this. it's a one chord style song, and granted, doesn't do much, but with the rhythm that I put it in, it's not as bad as the dum dum dum, with the pitches and stuff like that. Again, focus more on the pitch. I would have focused more on the pitches than creating a believable rhythm. So now I can change these chords out to something else and have a reasonably good rhythm along with pitch. So overall, I think realistically, if I probably get myself into thinking about rhythm more, it will lead me to slightly more interesting melodies, I hope, or I think. I don't know. Let me know what you think of this little short improvised melody that I came up with on the fly. Overall, wise, I got a lot to go on creating them, but it's sort of a work in progress when it comes to my learning of things. It's usually going by trial and error sometimes, and also just massively doing a lot of effort on work on trying to make them brute force wise in my eyes. Like, just try it until it makes sense, and then when somebody tells you a rule, it goes, oh, rhythm. Ha! Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because I don't do that, and now it just makes sense to me about the rhythm world, because before a couple of years you would have told me when I was learning all this stuff, yeah, rhythm, I got it, that's the note thing, right, gone, and still would have did things like the old way of just every eighth do something, or maybe not, and a very sort of boring rhythm occurs. But now of course, a little bit of complex melody. I could probably remove some chords, give it a little bit more breathing, or add some more chords overall. But I think the overall, especially this part right here, and these kind of non-syncopated sort of, or non-syncopated, syncopated kind of note presses are kind of lead it to more of an interesting pattern, especially with the other chords that are normally 4 on the floor anyways, of sorts, or at least that's how I look at it. Anyways, really short. I just wanted to go over it and say what I was thinking, what I was doing sort of this week, and it's a lot of research for me. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on the subject. A lot of people love doing chords and then doing their melodies over the chords, but melody is a really weird thing to teach on this stuff, and especially it's like, hey, how do I tell you what I'm doing? Right, and how do I explain the placement and all of that stuff? Some of it you have to feel. Other types, it's just like, look at arpeggiated chords, and just the bass, the third, the fifth, and just bring it up and down, and it actually sounds a lot better sometimes without just going. Look at the randomness that I normally do. But even that, I'm so whatever the taste is, right? It's what you want. But anyways, hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I hope you probably got something out of it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Overall, just try to tell you what I'm doing and how I'm learning, and seeing if it helps relate. If not, then you're already way past me, and that's a great thing anyways. Thank you, and I will catch you later.